Robert Herjavec is the CEO of the Herjavec Group and Shark Tank investor who joins us this morning. Robert, welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me again.
We've seen a lot of headlines cross about names like Zoom, liability when it comes to security. Are you using platforms like that with any reservations?
Well, you know, when all of this first happened, we wanted to use Zoom because all our customers use Zoom. But I got to tell you, some of the security issues are really pretty bad within Zoom. So we switched over to Teams. And as you guys talk about, I think it's one of the reasons the Microsoft stock is doing so well. The use of Teams at the corporate enterprise level is really taking off. We're seeing WebEx usage really go up. And on your show this morning, there was the acquisition of BlueJean, another video conferencing platform.
Yeah, it's been remarkable. And I guess it sort of raises the question how much opportunity there. I mean, if this demand is going to stay constant, I mean, even at a slightly lower level, there's got to be some opportunities for entrepreneurs who are even thinking about getting into this space.
Yeah, very much. You know, I've become very optimistic about the return, whenever the return is and what the world will look like. And I think some things in the new world will change forever. Customer meetings will change forever. I mean, in the past, I never thought that I could do a Zoom call or a Teams call with the CEO of a company I'm trying to sell to. In the future, I don't think my customers will want me to come and see them. And so I think there's continued opportunity for remote access, anything that allows you to connect with clients online or build a brand is going to be really valuable. I had an Instagram live yesterday with Kris Jenner, and you know, she's been selling online for years now. Every business needs to move online, especially small business.
We've had you on a few times in the last couple of weeks to talk about what you're seeing among the companies that you're invested in and that you would advise, what you're seeing among small businesses as well. One of the things we haven't gotten your pulse on, though, is what you think this entire situation more broadly is going to do to small business creation, to new business creation, what's going to emerge from this and how long that could potentially take.
I used to think that we were in a light switch moment where miraculously President Trump will get on the news and say, we're all back on this date. But I think what we're seeing now in California and New York is that it's going to be, we're into this for the long haul. And certain parts of the economy will go back quickly, but even the ones that do go back are going to be limited. You talked about this morning, restaurants, they'll have to distance half the tables. If I have more space in my restaurant, can I charge more along that line? I think it's going to be challenging, but you know, with all those challenges, there's going to be opportunities. But the key for me about going back is testing and what that means and how people get tested. There's a great new saliva test that was approved by the FDA. People can do it at home. And I think we just have to be able to do that at scale.
Robert, it's Dominic here. You bring up a couple points with regard to we're in it for the long haul, and it does kind of create opportunities. I'm wondering from your standpoint, I've been watching a lot of the Shark Tank episodes on CNBC at night, watching all these small business owners come in. This is also a time in crisis when a lot of innovation and ingenuity happens. Is this a scenario where you feel as though this is enough of a crisis where if we are in it for the long haul, we could spawn a whole new industry or a whole new group of industries based upon the idea that we are staying at home more and perhaps guarding our health a little bit more?
Absolutely. Shark Tank is a mirror to what's happening in the American economy. When we started the show 12 years ago, it was during the financial crisis. Nobody could get a loan. And so people started a lot of businesses that you didn't need capital for. And then we moved to online selling. This will be the same thing. If I've learned anything on 12 years from Shark Tank, is that the human condition is about hope. Nobody wakes up and says, I want my life to suck. And every time somebody comes on Shark Tank, they're full of hope and they're full of optimism. And you know, this is a challenging time, but entrepreneurs will figure it out. The key, though, is you've got to have a growth plan. The stimulus plan, the protection plan, all these relief funds are simply survival funds. They are not growth funds. If you don't have a plan to grow, if you don't have a plan to gain market share, Getting a stimulus today is just keeping you in business. It's not helping you to grow. You've got to have a game plan for that.
Although, Robert, it actually brings me to my final question, which is also about Shark Tank. The Times has a great piece today about how the global economy is going to change. And one of the lines from a McKinsey analyst is that companies are now thinking about resilience as well as quarter-to-quarter efficiency. So as you evaluate pitches from here on out, will you be asking them, what is your plan for the next exogenous shock we might get in 5 or 10 years?
Well, absolutely. I want to know what people's plans are for survival. And so it makes me want to invest in two types of companies, either companies with very strong balance sheet or companies like an Uber or a small business that can scale back its costs. I want to invest in a company that can quickly scale its expenses to meet a decline in revenue or vice versa. So fluidity and the ability to adapt in a small business is really going to be the key. I don't want to invest in a business with a large infrastructure, buildings, equipment, all that kind of stuff. That stuff is very difficult to scale down.